O to the L to the A to the plex. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it dawned on me that I hadn't made a video about Olaplex. Well, now it's time for me to share with you the Olaplex Love and for you to find out why I use this in all of my blonding services in salon. So first up, it makes perfect sense to share with you guys how Olaplex came about. I was really lucky that last year I worked with the guys at Colour World, which is a really cool hair colouring expo here in London. And they filled me in on all the gen and I got to work with them over 2 days. It was a really fantastic experience. Shout out to the Olaplex UK fam. But how did these amazing products actually come about? Well, in the States, in California, there's a gentleman called Dean, and Dean worked basically with cosmetology, and he was developing different products and services. And he was working with 2 chemists who stumbled upon the chemical compound that we now know as Olaplex, which we will go into more later. They developed the product together and then rolled it out to people like Guy Tang, who we all obviously know and love, and the wonderful Tracy Cunningham, who've been using it ever since. I have been using it now for about 3.5 years since its UK launch, probably a bit longer. And as I said before, I use it in all my blonding services. Well, let's get into a little bit of science behind Olaplex and what it exactly does to the hair. So Olaplex took the world by storm for good reason. These products really do work. They do a fantastic job at keeping the hair's integrity. So if you've never heard of Olaplex before, we're going to pretend that some of you watching this haven't, then it's a 2-step in-salon treatment. You've got step 1, which is an additive to colour or to lightening products, to bleach or to lightener. It can also be added to direct dyes. It can also be used as a backwash treatment. And then you've got step 2, which kind of seals in what step 1 does. Okay, so let's go through a little bit about step 1. Step 1 is what does the most bond building, okay? The same magical compound is in step 2 as well, but in a more diluted form. Step 1 is the purest form of bis aminopropyl diglycol diamaleate. Try saying that. Bis aminopropyl you see? I was practicing saying that off camera over and over again, and sometimes I get it right and sometimes I can't get it all right, but it is bis aminopropyl diglycol diamaleate. So the really cool thing about Olaplex, certainly Olaplex number 1, is it only has 4 ingredients, okay? So that long chemical compound is 1, and that's the maleic acid compound that helps to build the bonds in the hair. Then you've got water, and then you have a preservative, and that's basically, or 2 preservatives, and that's basically what is inside this bottle. There are other bond builders in the market, but Olaplex is completely unique. It is the only one that works in the way that it does. So use as an additive in your lightener, in your colour services, or as a backwash treatment, which we will get into in a second. It actually helps to strengthen and mend, rebond the disulfide bonds in the hair. So as hairdressers, we learn at college that the hair is, and I'm not going to get too technical for you guys because you can always Google this, but I just want to explain how Olaplex number 1 does the rebonding. You've got the hair shaft, which is a bit like a hollow straw, if you like, and inside you've got disulfide bonds. And dia, being the Latin for 2, means that they're connected together. When chemical services happen to the hair, or environmental, or over brushing, over straightening, those bonds that are bonded together can break. And on a very simple level, what Olaplex does is it puts those sulfur bonds back together, creating disulfide bonds again. So it's strengthening up the internal structure of the hair. I am going to link Olaplex's website down below so you can go and check out lots more technical stuff. This is really for me to share with you guys how I use it in salon and what difference it's made for me and my clients. But a lot of us like technical information. I know that I do. So you can always go and click on the Olaplex website and read all of your technical desires to your heart's content. So how do I use Olaplex number 1 in salon? Well, Olaplex number 1 goes in all of my lightening services, whether it be a global application of lightener, foils or balayage. And how much do I use? Well, that's a good question. At the conception of Olaplex, we were using more product, okay? And over the years, the instructions have developed, and of course, you can find all of the instructions in the leaflet and online, because I will link it all down below. You can go to the website and check it out. But the amounts that you use in your products have changed. And I now use, in 30 grams of lightener, for whatever it is I'm going to do, I will use a 1/16 of an ounce, which is kind of halfway between the 2 increments on the bottom of the bottle here. But if I'm mixing up less lightening product, which I often do, I will use the amount that I have dispensed into the bottom of this handy little spout here, which is a great way to control how much you use. So that's about how much I will use if I'm using less than 30 grams. And I've been doing that now for about 1.5 years, and I find the results are exactly the same as if I was using more. So it makes Olaplex number 1 very economical, and it means that you can add it into all of your lightening services. So I use Olaplex number 1 in all my lightening services, but there's another way to use it, and that's at the backwash as a treatment. So to do that, I would use 15 ml, which is this amount here, to the top of the spout, and I would mix it with warm water, up to 90 ml of warm water in a shaker bottle. You can use slightly less water if you want a slightly more concentrated formula. And I would invert the shaker bottle to mix the two together. Don't shake it up, all you need to do is invert it, and then apply that to either dry or very well towel dried hair at the backwash. Leave that for 5 minutes, and then after towel drying again, I would apply Olaplex number 2, which I would leave on somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes. You can leave it for longer if you want to, if your client's got the time and if you've got the time. So what does an Olaplex backwash treatment do? Well, it kind of resets the hair. It's using the most concentrated form of Olaplex to replenish and replace as many bonds as possible, which gives your client a great reset on their hair, and then they can go away and maintain those bonds with Olaplex number 3 at home. So let's talk a little bit about Olaplex number 2. Obviously, Olaplex is a system. There is 1, which is the most concentrated form. There is 2, which kind of seals the deal, if you like, without wanting to sound cliche. And there is 3, which is the maintainer at home. Now, these all contain the same chemical compound, which does that bond building, which is great, and in different levels to do the same job. But number 2 also gives the hair some manageability. And there's a great way that I use number 2 in salon, often on clients that don't have time to have a backwash treatment, or even clients that haven't had a chemical service on their hair that day. I use Olaplex number 2 as a mini treatment in salon. So I'll pop my client at the backwash, I will dampen their hair down very slightly, and then I will apply a couple of kind of capfuls of Olaplex number 2. Comb that through the hair, leave it on for 20 minutes, and then shampoo and condition. Now, this doesn't contain the same amount of that chemical compound, which is bis-aminopropyl diglycol diamaleate. There you go, for all of you out there. It doesn't contain the same amount as Olaplex number 1, but it does still have that ingredient. So to do a mini treatment in salon on a client is a great way to not only to introduce them to Olaplex at a slightly lower price point, but it's also a great way to maintain those very healthy bonds. And of course, there's Olaplex number 3. Now, I do retail this to clients, but there is something I just want to very, very briefly mention here, that if you're going to stock Olaplex number 3, or if you're going to buy Olaplex number 3 to use at home, and number 3 is basically a home use version of number 2, which kind of makes sense. We've got 1, 2, and 3. So they all go in order of the kind of dilution of that chemical compound that's inside that helps to repair and strengthen the bonds. If you're going to buy Olaplex number 3, or if you're going to retail Olaplex number 3 to your clients, please use it. Please get them to use it. There have been instances where I have clients that take number 3 home, and then the next time they come into the salon, I'll say, "Oh, how did you get on with Olaplex number 3? Your hair's looking great." And they're like, "Oh, I didn't use it." Okay. Well, As we know, as hairdressers or as consumers who are lovers of products and obviously want to have healthy hair, you have to use the product in order to get it to work. And how would you do that? Well, I would suggest that you apply it to damp hair. You really don't need to use a lot. A cap size, a capful if you like, about the amount of a 50p piece, which would be the size of a small grape if you want fruit. And then apply it to damp hair, comb it through and leave it on. I tell clients to leave it on for like an hour, do a bit of housework, do a bit of paperwork, do whatever you've got to do, get dinner ready, and then shampoo and condition your hair. So again, it's helping to build those bonds and to maintain the use of Olaplex 1 and 2 that clients have in salon. Now, I don't have them here with me to show you guys, but there is now Olaplex number 4 and 5. Yes, it's a shampoo and a conditioner to kind of complete the Olaplex family, if you like. Now, I haven't tried them, but I have heard feedback from people that have on Instagram and through friends of mine in the States who've been using them for a while, that they're very luxurious, very make the hair feel very soft, very moisturized, very conditioned. Because as we know, the Olaplex system, this is not a treatment or a conditioner, it is a bond builder. It's unique. There is nothing that has the formulation of Olaplex other than Olaplex. There are other bond builders. I have used a lot of them. I do like them. I think they're really good. But Olaplex is unique. There is nothing else that does what it does, and there never will be, because it's unique and it is patented to Olaplex. But my friends that have used the shampoo and conditioner 4 and 5 say that they get really great results. It's highly concentrated and it's a great way to maintain the system. Using 4 and 5, apparently, according to what I've read online, again, it will be linked down below, the website, so you can check it out. But what I've read online, the shampoo and conditioner won't really build the bonds in your hair like the in-salon and take-home number 3 will. So it really is a kind of system to be used together. But all in all, a great way to finish off Olaplex use at home. So if you didn't know already, you now know how much of a fan of Olaplex I am. I just want to make a little statement here, and it's something to remember that if you have a client sitting in your hair, or if you are someone at home that colours your own hair and you were thinking about using Olaplex throughout that process, I just want to give you a word of advice, a word of warning. If your hair, the hair that you're going to colour or your own hair, doesn't look like it's strong enough to take hair colour, then Olaplex is not going to help in that process. What I mean by that is that these products are incredible, and for me, they are as groundbreaking and as hair colouring changing as a GHD iron was to straightening hair. If you want to use an analogy, in the 90s, GHDs came out and everyone was like, whoa, that made a big difference. Well, I think that this is as iconic as GHD straighteners are to hair colouring. So it's an amazing product. But if your hair is structurally degraded, or the client's hair that you're looking at, that you have in your chair, if it's structurally degraded enough that you think, I probably wouldn't colour that hair, so if it doesn't reflect the light, or if the tensile strength of it, if it's very, very, very elastic, don't colour it. Olaplex is not a magic wand. It's an amazing product. And over the years of using it, I've seen my clients' hair get stronger, longer, healthier, shinier. Their glosses last longer, the tone of their colours lasts for longer, and anybody that uses it, any of my clients, they fall instantly in love with it. So it is a brilliant product, but it's not a magic product. It's one to be used, but you must at the same time respect the integrity of your client's hair. And one last thing before I go, I was lucky enough, fortunate enough, grateful enough last year to be asked from the US Olaplex family if I would take over their Instagram stories, which I did, and it was the most epic day. I had so much fun doing it, and you can still check that out on my Instagram, which I will link down below. You need to go onto my Instagram, onto the main page, and find in my highlights, I think it's probably my Olaplex US takeover. So you can go and check all of that out there. It was a lot of fun to do, and I was incredibly grateful to be asked by the Olaplex family in the US. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. This has been so much fun to put together, and it's great to share my love of Olaplex with all of you out there. I'm sure a lot of you know exactly what I've been talking about, but if you don't, check it out. It really is a fantastic product. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, because it lets me know what you guys want to watch here on my channel. And if you're subscribed, then please turn the bell notification on, because then it means you're going to get notifications when I post a new video, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. And if you're not subscribed, then please subscribe, because there's lots more coming on my channel. That's it for this video. I will see you all again soon.